Alright, y'all, welcome back to the Full Court Press. A lot has gone on in the summer, some good, some negative. But today I want to keep it positive, talk about three of the top players of this new rookie class that really excite me, and surprise, surprise, they are part of the top like 4 or 5 of this year's draft class. Obviously, number one for me, that should be the brightest spot, is actually not going to be Cooper Flag. I'm going to say VJ Edgecomb has impressed me a lot, especially with his play in the summer league so far. The real thing hasn't started, but with the California Classic and the thing in Utah that they do, we've seen some pretty good things from VJ Edgecomb, and from the other guy that we'll talk about at number 2 and 3, or 2 or 3. Sorry. The thing about VJ Edgecomb is that he kind of reminds you of, like, I say, a young Kobe, or a young, I don't want to say young Jordan. For me, it's more of like a Kobe, but he's so explosive. He moves so fluid and so well. It just seems like he was like so prepared for the NBA. And obviously, like summer league, you don't want to react, but we're gonna overreact to the summer league anyways. You know how it is. But anyways, VJ come, he's showing, obviously, that at Baylor he was a dominant force, and such a great talent, to lead that team, and then now with the NBA, with him just going through the summer league games and the 76ers, and giving them some hope with that process again. Now they got Tyrese Maxey, who's getting a little older. He's still about 24, 25, I think, but he's still on the young side. And then obviously Embiid is getting up there in age now, and so that part of the process is probably dwindling down anyways. But you have Maxey, you have Edgecomb. That's a pretty promising young core. It's probably a lot better than the Embiid Simmons combo that we saw earlier. And then number two, we have Ace Bailey. He's been so good so far, so fluid. Obviously, the stuff about him tanking his stock with the Jazz, just so he could avoid the team, didn't work out, and it was probably pretty stupid of him to do. But now he's on the team, and it looks like he's embracing Utah, which is pretty good to see, especially for a young player coming in and who starts off with pretty bad publicity. I mean, what more can you do than just embrace the city, uh, and then just hope for the best with the team, right? I really don't see him trying to ask out in like a few years. I know that sounds kind of like crazy to say, because of like how he started off, before he got to the Jazz. So maybe he still has those feelings, right? Like, I don't want to play with this team. It's pretty garbage and stuff. But I think he's gonna thug it out. I think he's gonna have a good situation up in Utah, and I think they won't exactly bring a lot of contention just yet. I think they still have a long ways to go. They showed a few years ago, I believe 2022, 2023, that they actually can make some noise with this new core, with the Laurie Markkinen era. But they've gotten rid of Colin Sexton and John Collins, so it seems like they're trying to readjust, still. And obviously, we all knew at the time that that was not going to be the the kind of be all end all of that team, of that iteration of the team. And so now we're kind of going into this new phase of Utah, and we're still transitioning into something that probably Ace Bailey will be leading the charge. And for me, he kind of reminds me a lot of Anthony Edwards, and not just the attitude. The attitude is obviously probably something that should be a little bit amended. Um, but just like the flow and the smoothness and the confidence that he plays with, we saw at college, and how he was able to excel, at that level. And now he's in the NBA, and I know it's summer league, but he's just so fluid. He's just taking over games already. It's very exciting to see. And then number three, Cooper Flag. This is gonna surprise a lot of people. The reason I'm not like as high as on him as VJ Edgecomb or Ace Bailey. Obviously, he will probably run away with Rookie of the Year. But him being in Dallas with that situation is, like, obviously he's surrounded by a lot of talent. But the question for me is that talent going to really elevate his game? Like, it seems like they're trying to push this Dallas team to contention right away, is what I'm assuming with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. Like, they really don't have any other choice after trading away Luka. So now they have Cooper Flag, and for me, the developmental is probably not going to be as great. It might even be a kind of like Chet Holmgren situation. We saw his 250 over 5 year deal that he got to like 50 million a year. He's basically getting on that new extension, and a lot of people are like, that's an overpay. But at one time, people were like, he's going to be the next KD. Me personally, I don't really see it. I think he has a long ways to go to be the next KD. Even though he's only like 3 years into the league, there's still a lot of work. I think Cooper Flag is susceptible to falling into that sort of situation. Obviously, he's a lot bigger than Chet is, and he doesn't have much of the same concerns that Chet did when he was in the league. But his concerns are actually opposite. Chet came in as somebody that could score from deep, and then now people kind of question Cooper Flag's ability to score from deep, but he's dominant, and when you have such a dominant big like Cooper Flag, it's going to keep him at a high floor. So for Cooper, I have a high floor, but for VJ and Ace Bailey, I see them having a much bigger ceiling, which sounds crazy for me to say, but still, I have a lot of hope in Cooper, and I think he could bring some success to Dallas because God knows that this city needs it. That's been all for today. Thank you all for watching the Full Court Press. Peace out.